Assalamualaikum to panel examiner. Today, we will present factors influencing nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Wanona Jiha binti Wa Ali and my research partner is Nurul Nasuha binti Muhammad Awis Hazwani. First, I will present background of study. Smartphones have become a need in our life, and without them, we will be in a lot of trouble in the present as the applications that we are currently utilizing have made our life far more convenient than those of our forefathers. Despite the good of having smartphone in our life, it giving bad impact, which is negative feelings such as anxiety and depression would be more prevalent in people's daily life if smartphone and internet service were not available. Loneliness, anxiety and depression may emerge as a result of the distressing situation. Therefore, this study was conducted to discover what factors affect the most towards nomophobia, and the focus is among Bachelor in Administrative Science students, since it's widely known that university students use smartphone in their daily life. This will make them more aware of the factors that might contribute to nomophobia. Next, problem statement. There are over 3.8 billion smartphone users in the world. Smartphone overuse and addiction is a growing concern worldwide. Within that population, 6.3% have a phone addiction. In United States, there are 66% of adults have nomophobia. While in Malaysia, a sociological experiment conducted by Malay Med in 2015 revealed that people of all ages from teens to adults were unable to turn off their smartphone. They were both put the test and discovered that being without their electronics for more than 24 hours was exhausting. Statistic 1 showed that about 71.4% of Malaysians will check the smartphone even when it does not ring. And statistic 2 demonstrate that 51.5% and 44.8% of Malaysians indicate that smartphone is important and very important in daily life respectively. Despite all the initiatives taken by government such as health, social activities as fundraise and sales activities during National Sport Day in an attempt to reduce the number. Almost 78.8% of internet users, especially children, are suffering from alarming addictions. This finding may emerge as an implication of 45% of children who are already proficient in using the internet at the age of 7 to 9. Move to research question. Research question of factors in influencing nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. The first research question is, what if the level of nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students? Second, what is the relationship between smartphone usage towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students? Thirdly, what is the relationship between smartphone addiction towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students? Fourth, what is the relationship between internet addiction towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students? The last one is, what is the most influencing factor towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students? Then, research objective that need to be achieved in this study. The first research objective is to study the level of nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students. The second, to study the relationship between smartphone usage towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students. Thirdly, to study the relationship between smartphone addiction towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students. Fourth, to study relationship between internet addiction towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students. The last one is to know the most influencing factor towards nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students.
My name is Nurul Nasuha binti Muhammad Awis Hazwani. Now I'll present about conceptual frameworks. The following conceptual framework was substituted in order to reflect a clear understanding of this study in order to have a better understanding of the factor influencing nomophobia among Bachelor in Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. The table conceptual framework identified that the dependent variable in this research is nomophobia. The dependent variable is determined by the three independent variables, which are smartphone usage, smartphone addiction, and also internet addiction. Next, we go into the research methodology. The first is research design. There are three methods in a research, which is quantitative, qualitative, and also mixed method. In this study, a quantitative method in this study is by distribute the questionnaire being used as a research design in this study. The second method is a unit of analysis. This study has focused on the factor influencing nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. Through this unit of analysis, we will look on what is the factor influencing on smartphone usage, smartphone addiction, and also internet addiction towards students of Uitm Kedah using a mobile phone that can be studied and identified through the individual himself. The third method is sample size.
This is study
Factor influencing on smartphone usage, smartphone addiction, and also internet addiction towards student Uitm Kedah using a mobile phone. The total population size involved is 491 students. The sample size for this study is
214 respondents.
The fourth method is sampling. There are two types of sampling method, which are probability sampling and also non-probability sampling method. In this study, research will be used systematic sampling. Systematic sampling is a type of probability sampling technique in which sample members are chosen from a largest population at a fixed and regular interval, but according to a random starting point. By dividing the population size, which are 491 students, by the desired sample size, which is 214 respondents, the interval, which is known as the sampling interval, is calculated. Meanwhile, researchers also use a convenience sampling. Convenience sampling is the type of non-probability sampling. Convenience sampling is a type of sampling in which the research will focus entirely on the first source of primary data that become available. To put in another way, the sampling technique entails gathering participate wherever they can be found, which is a typical variable is inconvenient. In this study, researchers use a student from semester 1 until semester 6 to participate in answering this questionnaire. Next, we go into the measurement and intervention. In this step, the researcher will compile all of the questions from the previous study. The adopted question will be adjusted and tailored to fit the research. The researcher must also collect questions for each dependent and independent variable. In the questionnaire, have 4 sections including the demographic section and 3 independent sections. And the last research method is data collection. In this study, the researcher collect the data using the questionnaire and is the primary data. In a cover letter of questionnaire with introduction title, goal for the analysis, and instruction was also supplied for the questionnaire responses. The questionnaire consists of 5 sections. The first section is a part A, which contains the demographic question and component of the questionnaire. The second section is part B, where the question is regarding the dependent variable, which is smartphone usage. The third section is part C, where the question is about independent variable, which is internet addiction, and the fourth part is D, is smartphone addiction, and the last is part E, is nomophobia. All of the question is required to be answered by a respondent. In this method, we use a Google form to spread our questionnaire, and we get the 303 respondents. This is more than sample size. Next, we go into the research objective 1. The research objective 1 is to study the of nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. The table shows the mean value for each statement in the survey. The Likert scale was used to determine the mean value. The mean value for the first, second, and third item are 4.40, 4.33, and 4.25 respectively. The mean value for the 4th, 5th, and 6th item are 4.27, 4.14, and 4.17 respectively. Finally, the mean value for the 7, 8, 9, and 10 are 4.09, 4.11, and 4.17 and 4.19 respectively. The value of average mean score of the level of nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students in Uitm Kedah is 4.2. The respectation of 303 respondents, the finding is productive. The results show that Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah have high category of nomophobia as indicated by the table. The next is we use present correlation measure the magnitude and significance of the bivariate relationship between all variables in the study. SPSS software was used for the correlation convenience analysis to determine the strength of relationship between 3 independent variables. Next, we go into research objective 2. To examine relationship between smartphone usage toward nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science at Uitm Kedah. Table is about the correlation between smartphone usage and nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. According to the result, it demonstrates that there are strong correlation between smartphone usage and nomophobia among students with a percent correlation R value of 0.844. The p-value is 0.000 less than 0.05. Thus, it is accepted. As a result, there is a significant relationship between smartphone usage toward nomophobia in Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. H1 is supported. Research objective 3 to examine relationship between smartphone addiction toward nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. Table is about the correlation between smartphone addiction and nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. According to the result, it demonstrated that there is a strong correlation between smartphone addiction and nomophobia among students with a percent correlation R value of 0.829. The p-value is 0.000 less than 0.05. This is accepted. As a result, there is significant relationship between smartphone addiction toward nomophobia in Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. HA1 is supported. Next, we go into research objective 4 to examine relationship between internet addiction toward nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. Table is about the correlation between internet addiction and nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. According to the result, it demonstrates that there is strong correlation between internet addiction and nomophobia among students with a percent correlation R value of 0.824. The p-value is 0.000 less than 0.05. Thus is accepted. As a result, there is significant relationship between internet addiction toward nomophobia in Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah. HA1 is supported. Next is research objective 5. Research objective 5 is we use regression analysis. Regression analysis is a set of statistical methods for estimating relationship between one or more independent variable and a dependent variable, where the independent variable could be category or continuous. In this study, the strongest correlation between the dependent and independent variable was determined using the SPSS software. The last one is research objective 5. Research objective 5 is to know the most influencing factor toward nomophobia among Bachelor Administrative Science at Uitm Kedah. Based on the table, there are 2 independent variables, which is smartphone usage and internet addiction. Having significant value, P is below from 0.05. The most dominant factor toward nomophobia is smartphone usage, highest in the standard beta value of 0.473. Besides, it shows that R2 value is 0.742%, represented by all the independent variables for the student nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science at Uitm Kedah. According to the finding that model is statistically significant because its p-value is less than 0.05 and its f-value is 287.00 while p-value is 0.000.
Next recommendation. The assessment of the variables affecting nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah revealed both strengths and weakness. As a result, multiple recommendations were made for each of the independent variable. First is smartphone usage. To reduce the amount of using smartphone, do not use smartphone before going to bed. Insomnia, which is having problem falling asleep, was mentioned several times in this study due to using phone too much, especially at night. Before sleeping, it is suggested to do any activity without smartphone, such as reading a book for sleeping easily later on. The next recommendation on smartphone addiction. Keep yourself on schedule. Setting alarms to indicate how frequently you can check your phone is the most simple approach that has been advised for weaning yourself off your phone. Next, turn off as many push notifications as possible. It is believed that not receiving many notifications and avoid excessive smartphone addict. Notifications are activated only for important applications such as applications related to study or work. The last recommendation is for internet addiction. Socialize is a way to keep online life lowly. Get over the internet and share in real life experience. Invite some friends over for some enjoyable activities and change communication patterns by going more often and spending more time with family or friends. When texting with friends and family become too much, break the routine and meet them face to talk. Continue on research limitation. First research limitation is independent variables. Independent variables used by researchers are only three, which are smartphone usage, smartphone addiction, and internet addiction. However, there are more factors that contribute to nomophobia, and those factors have been used by previous researchers. An example of a factor used in the study of nomophobia in India is being away from home, which made them more dependent on smartphone because they are homesick. Additionally, there are also psychological factors such as self-identity and validation from others. Next, respondent. This study was conducted focusing on Bachelor of Administrative Science students at Uitm Kedah only. The respondents involved are very specific and its circle is small. The limited distribution of the questions is intended to smooth the analysis of the study. This study cannot be generalized to represent all Uitm Kedah students because only one course is involved. Furthermore, the research conducted cannot represent university students throughout Kedah. The last one is conclusion. In short, all objectives in this study have been successfully achieved by focusing on Bachelor of Administrative Science students through the distribution of online questions using Google Form. The objective of this study was to find out the most influential nomophobia factor and the relationship between smartphone usage, smartphone addiction, and internet addiction. Furthermore, this study also giving awareness to researchers of the danger of excessive smartphone use and to avoid harming ourselves. Based on the findings, the relationship between smartphone addiction and internet addiction is not too strong with nomophobia compared to the first independent variable, which is smartphone usage. However, these independent variables closely related to independent variable, and each of independent variables has correlation with nomophobia among Bachelor of Administrative Science students. Thank you.